New tonight, an ongoing problem for two Indianapolis homeowners after they say a utility company left behind a huge mess and says it's up to them to take care of it. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. A woman reached out to WRTV for answers, and working for you, our Amber Grigley learned what AES has to say that applies to all homeowners.
Tracy Drain says it was a beautiful sunny day when the utility company came to her home saying they needed to take a tree down. She says when she came back home, she found her yard like this.
I was wondering what they did with the privacy fence, maybe slid it to the side or something. And once I came out here and got the look, and I'm like, oh, it's down underneath all that rubbish.
A frustrating eyesore for neighbors Tracy Drain and Jordan Bunch. The mess they say an AES crew left behind.
I don't ever hear it falling because I was home the whole day. I just remember they came here, they cut it down, the power went off for about, like 4 hours, and they just left everything.
Both Drain and Bunch immediately started calling and emailing AES, but they say they were hit with more excuses than solutions.
I finally got a letter from a lady named Annette. And she sends me a letter saying that the damage was due to storm related and that I need to turn it into my homeowner's insurance. And I'm like, no, it wasn't due to weather related. Your company came back here and they took this down and left it there.
When I reached out to AES about this matter, I received this statement saying AES sent a crew out after a storm on March 16th. Quote, to restore power due to damage caused when a tree fell on AES Indiana equipment, causing an outage and damaging a section of fence. Vegetation crews cut and removed the tree from our equipment, allowing for safer restoration of power.
So they're not trying to take responsibility and don't want to pay for it.
The statement from AES goes on to say, in part, in emergency situations involving tree trimming, AES Indiana does not clear away the debris.
I'm out here in my backyard all the time. I try to keep it looking nice. I like entertaining, and for people to come and see that, it's annoying and it's frustrating, and I'm like, they need to do something about it.
Drain says it's all about taking responsibility and making this right. Working for you, I'm Amber Grigley, WRTV.
Again, AES says the fence was damaged during that March storm, but an important reminder for all homeowners. If utility crews need to trim trees in an emergency situation, AES says it does not clear away the debris, and cleanup is the customer's responsibility, which may be covered by insurance. You can read the full response from AES at WRTV.com. WRTV is also working to get answers for tenants at an apartment complex on the north side of Indianapolis. People who live at Lakeside Point at Nora are worried they will be left high and dry 1 week from today.
Urgent message. Attention, Lakeside Point at Nora. It is possible that Citizens Energy Group may be shutting off water to our complex as soon as July the 5th, 2021.
Hundreds of residents at the apartment complex received that notice today. WRTV Investigates learned staff members with the Marion County Health Department passed out the flyers. After we reached out for more information, the department said it has determined the possible disconnection date was premature. However, the warning may apply in about a month. Citizens Energy tells WRTV the water may be disconnected on August 2nd due to unpaid water bills by the apartment complex. WRTV asked a worker at the complex about the situation.
This is not happening. The water's not going to be shut off. All right?
Why did they do this then?
The Board of Health issued that, so...
What for, though?
I don't know.
Why would they do that?
Don't know. Don't know.
Because they're saying the bill's not paid.
It's been paid. Yeah, the bill's been paid.
We left messages with the owner of the property who is out of state. Citizens Energy Group says that it will work with the owner to establish a payment arrangement to avoid disconnecting the apartment complex. We'll continue to follow this situation. We'll let you know what happens. Well, this is not the first time WRTV has uncovered problems at Lakeside Point Apartments. In 2019, we found more than 20 cases the Marion County Public Health Department filed for court. That means an investigator documented an issue, told management about it, then came back again and still nothing was done. That same year, dozens of residents went weeks without hot water. During our investigations, we learned the massive complex did not contribute anything in local property taxes. It was considered a nonprofit charitable organization since 2007. After WRTV's reporting, the Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals voted unanimously to revoke the apartment's tax-exempt status. Now to the forecast here on this Monday. WRTV Chief Meteorologist Kevin Grigley is still tracking a few downpours at this hour. Kevin?
And it's warm and sticky, Mark. The fuel was there for these isolated thunderstorms. Most of us will stay dry. We stay in the 70s outside of where we have any showers, some patchy fog around. Going, almost gone, but they may redevelop in spots. There's a little downpour northwest of Lafayette that's headed into White County, just to the southwest of Monticello. Tomorrow, just like today, we'll have some thunderstorms that push severe limits. Main threat would be damaging wind over the northern half of the state. We hit 90 today. Oh, so close tomorrow. 89 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms develop as we go through the morning hours tomorrow. And again, the main threat would be the strong winds with the most intense storms. We'll have more on changes that finally arrived later in the 7-day forecast.
WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers initiative is connecting you to career education and training opportunities. There is a critical shortage of Army National Guard warrant officers. According to the Guard, they're finding warrant officers lack the technical skills needed for the job. A new program is helping bridge that gap. The Guard is working with Marian University's Project Build program, which focuses on adult education and preparing students for things like standardized tests and interviews. Just 2 months into the partnership, 11 officers have earned the educational requirements to apply for the warrant officer position.
It was great for me to get back into the study habits. It worked with my routine, with my busy, hectic schedule. It was at my own pace for everything, and it was a great refresher for me to prepare for the warrant officer candidate program. I highly recommend it for anyone who doesn't have their college or English credits, who wants to pursue anything further for their career.
Our biggest focus is like, okay, let's get you in. Let's go at your own pace. We're really about picking your own pace, and let's see what it is you need, because what you need, your classmate may not need.
Project Build helps people in a variety of fields, including construction, logistics, and more. The next round of classes start July 6th. There is still time to sign up. For more information, just go to HiringHoosiers.com. Tomorrow, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane will give an update on the pandemic in Marion County. This comes 1 week after their last update. They're scheduled to speak at 2 o'clock. You want to look for live coverage on the WRTV app. Mysterious bird deaths and illnesses are now reported in more than 40 counties across Indiana, according to the Department of Natural Resources. That's up from 15 reported last week and now includes Hamilton, Hendricks, Johnson, Marion, Monroe, and Morgan counties. We told you Friday the DNR is recommending Hoosiers remove their bird feeders as the cause of the deaths and sicknesses is investigated. The affected birds include common species like blue jays, cardinals, and robins. 11 people are now confirmed dead in the Surfside condo collapse. There are fears that number will grow much higher as 150 people are still missing tonight. ABC's Morgan Norwood is in Florida, where officials say they are not giving up hope in the search for survivors.
Despite the climbing death toll, rescuers say they're committed to the search in Surfside.
We're going to continue and work ceaselessly to exhaust every possible option in our search.
Crews building trenches using sonars and dogs, all looking for signs of life.
There's certain areas that we have not gotten to, but we've been able to place cameras that seem to have large enough spaces, voids, that occupants may still be in there.
The rescue mission risky, one worker falling 25 feet into the rubble below. Crews hoping that beneath the sheets of concrete, pockets of air could hold survivors.
It gives us more hope that we'll be able to access those voids and make those rescues.
And sadly, no survivors found since Thursday. Steve Rosenthal was asleep when the building began to crumble. His body still bruised.
It's about 1:30 in the morning, and I hear the loudest thunderclap I've ever heard in my life.
Federal authorities called in for a preliminary investigation. A 2018 structural report released by the town of Surfside showing evidence of damage in the concrete under the pool deck and parking garage. ABC News confirming residents were assured by a Surfside building official that the tower was, quote, in very good shape. Engineers, meanwhile, combing through the camera footage, looking for clues.
When I look at the video, I feel it looks like it starts from the bottom of the building and works its way up, or a failure concentrated at the support or the bottom of the building.
The review from federal authorities could take a considerable amount of time. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the state's own investigation could be available sooner. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Miami Beach, Florida.
Later here in sports, what an NCAA council is recommending as the association faces pressure to ease amateur restrictions. And coming up,
it just became bigger, and people, would stop me and say how it makes them feel and how wonderful it is.
Why people are flocking to Chicago to take pictures and even propose in front of a colorful home.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Riley Children's Health employees are stepping up to address a big need. Nearly 150 Riley workers are signed up to donate at a blood drive tomorrow. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Elaine Cox talked to WRTV about the issue earlier this month.
There are so many things to consider when you're taking care of patients in the hospital. And we're really sort of used to having all the things we need right at hand. And when we don't have them, right, it poses challenges on top of the challenges of already being in the hospital and already being sick. And so we want to be highly reliable in the care that we give. So we need all our tools at hand. And so this is an important one.
The blood shortage is not just impacting Riley. The Red Cross says some hospitals are being forced to slow the pace of elective surgeries until the supply becomes more stable. The biggest need is for type O and platelets. Blood donations typically slow down during the summer, and this year's turnout is even lower as many Americans pack their schedules full of travel and other activities that stopped during the pandemic. You can schedule an appointment to give blood through the Red Cross Blood Donor app, online at redcrossblood.org, or by calling this number. It's 1-800-RED-CROSS. Stories of hope and recovery will take the stage in downtown Indianapolis this week. The Park at the Phoenix, the new outdoor venue at the Phoenix Theater, will host a one-act play called Sleepaway on Wednesday, presented by the nonprofit theater company Summit Performance Indianapolis. The show is about the kindness of strangers and women's journeys of resilience. The stories are based on interviews with around 20 women in the local community. Creators and performers with the Summit hope that the performance helps people rethink addiction and recovery.
I think it's just when you're right there in someone's story and you're experiencing it through a performer, it gives you kind of a firsthand look at what someone else's circumstances might be and how maybe someone comes to make certain decisions that otherwise perhaps you would, take one look at and judge or just see from a two-dimensional point of view.
It really makes you think about humanity and how we all sometimes can get caught up in things that make us not think about that just basic human part of us, that basic, I want good things to happen for you part of us that we all have. And I think that really shows through in this piece.
Summit is partnering with Dove Recovery House and the School of Health of Human Sciences at IUPUI on this project. Sally Wasmuth with IUPUI is involved in several arts-based recovery initiatives. She says theater can be a powerful tool for audiences as well as healthcare providers.
All of these projects that we do are about narrative medicine, which is the idea that it is good for human beings to hear other people's stories. And particularly for healthcare providers, it can help us make fewer medical errors and also attend better to the people that we work with if we pay more attention to stories, particularly through theater. In my research, I really talk about how if we can sort of deeply understand and empathize with and hear the stories of people's journeys through addiction and through recovery, we can provide better supports and reduce the stigma associated with it and reduce the stigma about talking about it.
You can see Sleepaway at 7 o'clock Wednesday evening at the Park at the Phoenix Theater. There will be a moderated community conversation after the show. It is free to attend, but you will need a ticket. For more information, just go to summitperformanceindy.com. Now to the forecast. I want to give you a live look at the canal in downtown Indianapolis. They're lit up. Storms could put a damper on any outdoor activities in the coming days, though. Here's Kevin with that.
And pretty much same routine, Mark, as we've had the last several days. We finally see at the end, not at the end of the work week, not at the end of the 7-day forecast, but a change coming that will be more enjoyable. 76 in Indy, 3 degrees cooler in Crawfordsville, while Bloomington sits at 78 degrees. talked about some of the showers and thunderstorms off to the northwest. They are starting to dwindle, but you'll still hear some rumbles of thunder coming your way in Monticello. This is west of Lake Schaefer and Lake Freeman and north of Lafayette. Some additional thunder showers possible overnight northwest. Same feel. Tropical feel. That humidity is there with temperatures heating up. That'll build some thunderstorms tomorrow, but we'll end up with cooler conditions by the end of the week. Almost 90 tomorrow. We take another step down as we get to Wednesday. Thursday's temperature right at 80 for the high, and that starts a new trend, as you'll see within the forecast. Also, notice humidity dropping as we go through the next several days. It's Friday when you'll finally feel the difference in the humidity, and it will last through the 4th of July weekend. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, some ongoing showers, thunder showers northwest of the Lafayette to Peru line. Those fade away temporarily. Once we start heating up late morning, early afternoon, like clockwork, boom, there are the showers and thunderstorms, heavy rainfall whenever you catch one of those, and gusty winds. We've had winds today of 40 to 50 miles per hour. We may have an isolated wind gust closer to 60 tomorrow, which would put out a thunderstorm warning. 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, still ongoing. Then by the time we get to 11, they'll start to fade away. We're in the lowest risk for tomorrow. The marginal, or it's on a scale of 1 to 5, this would be a 1 as far as that threat for damaging wind. Temperatures tomorrow, just a matter of timing of the thunderstorms. Whether you hit 90 or not, it'll feel like 90 for all of us. Pretty consistent chance for rain through the day Wednesday. The cold front will eventually come our way and bring with it more concentrated thunderstorms Wednesday and Thursday. You see all the activity through the afternoon and evening hours. Wednesday temperatures in the mid-80s. Noticeable change, though. You can start to see the cooler air come in from the northwest on Wednesday. As we get to the weekend, temperatures will start to cool off. The biggest change will be lowering the humidity, lowering the rain chances, and the temperature. Thursday, 79 will stay in the upper 70s as we go through the 4th of July weekend. Overnight lows around 60. We're not risk-free from rain, Mark, but at least the chance is just around 20% at this point. That seems like a victory.
We'll take it. All right, thank you, Kevin, for that. A home in Chicago has turned into a tourist attraction thanks to this colorful display of pride that you see here. Scripps reporter Usher Qureshi shows how the homeowners are using their newfound viral fame to pay it forward.
The day is so beautiful.
After a tough year, Jesse Campbell and partner Nicholas Vasquez knew they wanted to do something special to celebrate Pride with their 17-month-old.
We just wanted to, start off right and a good foot, really instill in him, good morals and values and just be a good person. This is a good opportunity, right? And just to have memories and to have pictures.
Ideas were bursting inside Campbell's imagination.
I'm an interior designer, so I use AutoCAD all the time.
The interior designer sketched out what would become his exterior design concept.
It helps me in the design process to see what it's going to look like before I actually pull the trigger.
What he came up with turned into a simple yet powerful art display for their home and the neighborhood. A massive paintbrush dripping in the colors of the rainbow.
I loved it. I thought it looked great.
He wasn't the only one who loved it. The couple never expected their unique rainbow art installation to generate so much buzz.
And someone posted it on social media and it blew up. People started showing up in front of my house. Suddenly there's a line of people taking pictures and cars are all double parked.
The massive Pride display has undoubtedly gone viral. People visit from far and wide to take pictures and just soak in the bright colors that stretch from the walkway up the porch